All right, welcome everybody to the new week, Tuesday, June 21st, crypto market analysis. My name is Amal. Welcome to the Alpha Trades, market update. If you're not familiar with us, you can check out our YouTube channel, Alpha Trades. You can find me on Twitter, also known as _Alpha Trades. So today's analysis, I wanted to wrap up in less than 10 to 15 minutes because I believe that there's a pretty succinct way of going about the market right now. And first, I'm going to do a quick update on the state of the market, data points, metrics that you need to be paying attention to, two pieces of knowledge, two things that I'm looking into in terms of bear market research, and then just overall, technicals on what's happening in BTC, how are altcoins looking, and what I believe could be, the sign of potential bottoms in the market. And what are those signs that we should really be looking for in terms of the bottom occurring in the market and hopefully the market turning around, okay? First, based on my last point, how do we recognize, bottoms, right? Well, first you have to recognize that you are in a downtrend, and that downtrend is heavily macro based. And macro based meaning the Fed has been continuously raising interest rates. Central banks around the world have been raising interest rates. And we know that things are tightening around the world due to higher inflation, right? This point right here, I'll let y'all pause the video and read this by yourselves. But all this says is on the downside, when liquidity disappears, projects, companies, people in general will disappear because most people will not have the ability to afford capital at higher and higher prices. And also capital itself is scarce, right? So when capital is scarce and you're not able to afford the capital, depending on the amount of interest rates that you may have to pay, et cetera, right? In markets, fundamentals that are mattering far more. They've always mattered. It's just that in the downside of the market, when that liquidity gets pulled because of higher interest rates, because of quantitative tightening, because the market might be fearing a recession, a slowdown of the business cycle, whatever, right? That is where fundamentals matter even more. And that's why the markets really go through a very, very hard crunch, okay? So make sure y'all read this. It's on my Twitter feed, okay? Getting to the market, signs of, a bottom that I'm recognizing in the market. For example, we see that Bitcoin dead is trending. We see that there is a ETF, a short Bitcoin ETF being launched literally right now, as the prices of Bitcoin are currently sitting at $21,000 once they've already hit this low of 17,000, right? So the point is that there are many people sort of wanting to bet on Bitcoin's demise now versus a couple of months ago. So who knows? That could be a sign of bottom. Three Arrows Capital, we already know, has either capitulated fully or they're almost done selling. Either way, the market knows this, right? And then of course our favorite Jim Cramer talking about Bitcoin to fall to 12,000 just 2 days ago. And of course, market reversed back up, currently sitting at 21.2K. Okay. And, not to add all the different media outlets, whether it's Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal, MSNBC, all these different networks are talking about, Bitcoin and crypto basically collapsing or going to zero. And honestly, there are real risks for many protocols or many assets that might actually go to zero. But I don't quite believe that Bitcoin or Ethereum are in that bucket. I also don't believe Solana is in that bucket, okay? I fundamentally believe that these assets are significantly doing better than what happened in the 2018 collapse of the ICO bubble. Right now, there is real community, real value, real developers, still there, right? Even at the depths of the bear market. And that's good in my opinion, okay? Other things I want to mention real quick. There's a little data point that I wanted to show y'all real quick. Well, other parts of the market are obviously collapsing too, right? We can kind of see OpenSea volumes for NFTs, significantly dropping. And they've been continuously sort of, topping from last year and then kind of just trending down really from there. I don't believe that the NFT market is fully blown up yet. I do believe that is going to happen at some point. So definitely keep your eye on that. Okay. Um, I think the other way to sort of look at the market right now is if you kind of look at dominance, right? You could kind of see Bitcoin dominance right here in the bottom left of the screen has come down significantly. And then stablecoin dominance has come down right there. USDT dominance, USDC dominance. And then at the same point, Ethereum dominance has ticked up a little bit. So what does that mean? This translates to me that money has started to reach its way into other risk areas of the market, such as altcoins. Ethereum being one of them, probably, Solana being up 8.5% on the day today, as you could see, right? It says it right there at the top of the screen, 8.5% versus Bitcoin, which is up about 3.8% on the day. You can kind of see that money is starting to flow into some of these alts. Now, these are, again, in context of bear market things that happen, right? We know that in bear markets, we have insanely high rallies that could be, pretty crazy, right? They can go up 10, 20% every day for 2 or 3 days before they start to roll over again. Okay. And that is just, the fact of how short squeezes happen, how bear market things happen. But looking at BTC right now, looking at what I showed you in terms of dominance, and then of course, I want to show y'all exactly what's happened in the total 2 market cap, right? Again, this is excluding BTC. Okay, you can kind of see the total 2 market cap has fallen off by a significant amount, right? If you actually do say something like DeFi Perp, which is the DeFi kind of ETF, if you will, right? That sort of value from the highs to the lows right now is down 84%. A majority of alts, if you kind of look at them from the high to the low, for example, Frax shares, right? They're down significantly, right? From previous all-time high to now, they're down about 88%. Most alts are down, 80, 85, 90%. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that most alts are probably not going to make it out alive till the next bull run. We also don't know which alts are going to be the ones to make it out to the next bull run and what the narratives are going to be. I've started to do research in different narratives. For example, we wrote an article on our Substack. You can go find it. It's Alpha Trades. It's called In the Money. And we've written an article on music NFTs. I'm doing research on, let me see here. I'm doing research on things like storage within crypto. So file storage, right? Filecoin is one of them, even though I think it's really a garbage coin, but I still want to do research in it just because I don't know exactly where the space is going to go. And you never know what's going to be in the future of crypto, of what they pump up in the next cycle. So Filecoin is one of them. Arweave is, another one, which is similar to sort of, the storage side of things. I also have my eye on HNT, which is the render token. I'm sorry, this is Helium, but I also have my eye on the render token. HNT is Helium, which is related to a almost like a router / Wi-Fi device that you can put in your home, and it sort of spreads and disseminates a Wi-Fi signal that others can kind of use, and you get tokens for sort of creating this mesh network of Wi-Fi with these Helium devices. Okay, make sure y'all look this up. I mean, all this stuff is like really cool. Helium token. Okay, so you can check this out on their website, helium.com. Really, really cool stuff in my opinion. But again, it's not really going anywhere or hasn't gone anywhere. This is kind of how they are trying to build it out, right? Helium devices, and then you get Helium tokens based on that. And then there's render token, which I've also got my eye on for the past, few weeks. I've mentioned it. You can kind of see again from all-time highs till now, it's down about 93%. The fact of the matter is, right, most of the crypto market has blown up. And if you paid attention to what I just stated, right, we're going to see who the true juggernauts are that can come out alive and that can survive through the current bear trend of the market. And, when fundamentals really matter, what does the market really value for the future, right? Maybe the market doesn't care about render. Maybe it doesn't care about helium. Maybe all this stuff is, pretty much still going to keep trending down. Maybe a market might look at, okay, well, in the current context of things, like if we go to DeFi Llama, you can also see from the previous all-time high up here of how much TVL was locked on all these different protocols, DeFi protocols, we're down again about, 75, 80%, right? Most of that money has now, quite well and in a stable way sat in Maker, Aave, Curve Finance. Maker being the top leader, given that it is only, drawn down about 20% in 1 month, okay? Aave and Curve are down about 40 to 43%. So you could kind of see, for the most part, Maker is doing really, really well. And, it has kind of sat at the top of a TVL in the bear market. So who knows, maybe Maker is going to be one of the DeFi protocols that lives up to a big name in the next bull market, okay? Other aspects of token metrics and fundamentals you can look at: protocol revenues, total revenue, price to sales ratios, right? Price to earnings ratios. So I like to go to tokenterminal.com and look at, which ones are at the top of the list that I want to be looking at, that are generating good revenue, that have good price to sale ratios. So you could go here and check that out. And of course, do your own research. Okay. So the point is that, in the current context of things, if you are struggling through the bear market, remember to look at new things and new projects and new narratives that you want to be paying attention to, of what will be built out in the future, right? It's not about the now of things. We already know bear markets are brutal. We already know most projects won't survive, but you got to think ahead, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line. Unless you believe crypto is going to zero, well, then what the heck are you doing here anyway, right? But if you believe crypto is not going to zero and it will survive, and sooner or later things are going to come out and do better, well, then what are those things? And that is where our community comes in, and this is why we make videos like this, to show y'all exactly what we're doing in terms of research in the market. What kind of metrics are we looking at? What kind of bottoming signs are we seeing? Where is the money flowing, right? All these things are things that we pay attention in the market. Again, you can go to thealphatrades.com community, hit the products page right here, and join our Advantage membership subscription. All that information, you will find here in our Discord community. All these channels right here, the locked channels that you see, are for our Advantage members, going all the way from altcoin analysis, Bitcoin analysis. We have a 5K challenge account where I show live trading, a live money account of how I trade every day in the market. Here's a perfect trade that I mentioned to Advantage members yesterday. As soon as we found out that there's a 20 million buyback coming up for Frax. And I was a little late to this, but I pointed it out at 490, and my target was about 510, 515. That was a quick, 5% move. And as you could see, some of our members actually caught it, and you can see target was hit perfectly, right? In fact, Frax shares, I think, actually went beyond that target. You can kind of see it's sitting at 544. Personally, again, given the fact that it is still a bear market, I want to let y'all know that you want to make sure these trades, the fast moving trades, you want to get in and out of and secure your profit and get out. Okay. Again, not investment advice. None of what I say is financial advice. It's just how I trade, how I look at the market, and how I share this information with my community. But I'll let y'all know right now that you do not want to be the person searching for a bottom in the market and hoping to lever up and go heavy every day or every week. It's going to take a while for our crypto economy and system to reset, cleanse itself. Think of a forest, going through a forest fire, right? It takes a while for the forest fire to burn through everything. Okay. Then it takes a while for the landscape to really, clean itself out and then, regrow, right? Obviously, it's not going to take years or decades, but I don't see why it won't take a few months. And so these are the things that we're kind of paying attention to in the market, of how long it will take for the market to really clear itself out. whether it's leverage or weaker projects or insolvencies such as Celsius or Three Arrows Capital, all these things. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So let me just do a sort of 2-minute quick update on the market. Let me go to a fresh chart right here of how I drew things yesterday. So here's kind of what I'm looking at right now, right? First of all, we see that the market is very nicely trending alongside this ascending trend line. Okay, that's very good. We're also above the current weekly open. June 19th weekly open is around 20,535. And the previous range low, which was this low, sort of a deviation, tries to hold up above it, breaks down and sells off, right? We're sitting above that level, okay? As long as we stay up here, I think this is, temporarily bullish, right? If we start breaking back inside this trend line and breaking back inside this range low of 20,787, then I'm pretty sure we're just going to flush through all these levels like the weekly open and head down to $20,000, which is the key SR level. Okay. We also have, other things that are in the technicals that I'm looking at. So for example, VWAP weekly, currently also sitting above the VWAP weekly, as long as we kind of stay above that, right? Generally over the last few weeks, as you can see, we've stayed under that VWAP. Okay. Every time we try to escape above the VWAP on a weekly basis, we break down. Get above, break down, reject, break down again, come here, reject, break down, come here, reject, break down, right? So this is the first time where we spent, almost like maybe 2 days or so above this weekly VWAP. So just keep that in mind. I don't see any reason to be overly bearish here. I think there might be shorting opportunities, yes, but it would be level to level shorting opportunities, right? After the market has bottomed in such a heavy way where you kind of see that, this big flush happened, people can make the argument that, oh, well, maybe this was, this $30,000 level was similar to what happened in BTC in 2018, right? If y'all remember that, let me point it out to you real quick, okay? So here's kind of how that looked, right? If y'all remember back in 2017 and 18, remember, this was a floor around like $6,000. Once it broke, price went down, almost exactly 50%. And then we started this accumulation for 2 or 3 months. Then we popped up, went from 3,000 all the way to 13,000, right? Similarly, over here, if you believe that this was the floor of support, around $30,000, well, we broke that, almost dropped 50%. Now we're trading back up around 21, and who knows, maybe this is a bottom, but it's going to take a while for us to carve out this bottom before we maybe make our way back up above this 30,000 level again. In which case, if we do make an accumulation pattern right here, I personally think at minimum, we're probably going to 35 or 40K, maybe as high as $46,000. Okay. Just my thoughts on the market. All right. Other aspects of the market that I'm still focusing on, I'm still liking AVAX. Just keep in mind that they are right now hitting key resistance points. See this descending trend line that was, previous support. We hit it once as resistance, coming to it twice as resistance. Same thing with Solana, right? I have a Solana trend line. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, here's kind of how I see Solana right now. Solana has been trending down alongside this trend line. Yes, we're trying to breach it right now. By the way, I don't have this trade on, so I'm going to remove this. You could kind of see right now that every time Solana has kind of created this, uptrending thing right here, we've broken down, uptrending thing, broken down, uptrending, broken down. So point is that we need to see if this grind right here is going to sustain itself, and are we going to push higher, take out this high and put in a new sort of local higher high, right? In which case we can then say, oh, maybe Solana is trying to turn the trend around. Okay. Solana is also a very interesting asset to pay attention to because, historically it's done really, really well, even when, the markets are still doing their bear market things. Like back here, Solana hit, almost this $20 level multiple times before it shot up 10x, went all the way to 250, right? Most of the market was kind of struggling from here all the way up. And then after that, it kind of distributed here for a month or two and then broke down, right? So again, I know that we're still in a downtrend, but I want to keep my eyes peeled and open for the possibility of potential upside. I am open to taking shorts, but it would probably be, quick in and out positions. Like if I were to short Solana right now, I would say, okay, I'll short now at 38 with a optionality of adding to my short around 40 to 40.5. And I'll take that trade back into 32, 31, 30, something like that as a support area along this trend line. It's also possible that, this trend line breaks and we put in a new low, right? I don't think that's impossible at all, but I'm just letting y'all know that, that is how I would play a short position. Okay. Cool. Ethereum, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. I feel like I'm already on minute 20. I always try to do my videos for my Advantage members for between 10 and 15 minutes. But these public videos are hard to cover everything, since my last video. Yeah, I think same thing with Ethereum. It looks like it's trying to trend up, trying to push out. Yes, it's going to struggle around here. You can kind of see overall, volumes really coming down. It's trying to do its best to squeeze out some of those shorts. I don't quite think that we're just going to V-bottom here and then rip up. I think the market still has a lot of cleaning to do. Like I said, macro is the thing that's really guiding us, in crypto. I think, we have a lot to churn through. One good thing is, I mentioned to my Advantage members that there's a couple of interesting points that came up for me, which I believed that kind of signaled a temporary bottom, especially for Solana. As you can see, Solana, the Solend protocol basically said, hey, we want to take over this whales account that is $170 million that might get liquidated at 22, right? This is a decentralized protocol that said, well, we just want to stop that from happening because we're scared that, Solana protocol or Solend is going to, basically become insolvent or become trash, right? And so basically the fact that that happened, is like, okay, so I guess it's not truly decentralized, and they're going to pool money together to make sure that this whale doesn't get liquidated so as to not nuke price, another 20%, right? And then other thing that I found interesting was it looks like Sam Bankman-Fried has stepped up and contained the contagion by lending money to BlockFi, by lending money to Voyager, and basically giving them a loan or kind of like a bailout, if you will. And I find that extremely interesting. You can kind of look this up, on your own. But yeah, he's definitely lending money to BlockFi as well as Voyager, which is a crypto exchange, to sort of help prevent, that larger contagion. So again, that could be a sign of this being the potential bottom, right? So all these things I'm kind of looking at and I'm asking myself, okay, yes, we're in a bear market. Yes, macro guides us, but what about this stuff, right? What about the fact that, one of the biggest whales in the market, Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX, is trying to backstop the selling in the market? And also, can he backstop it? Can he sort of go against the market forces of sellers? Okay, so that's what I'm looking at right now. Anyway, I hope y'all like this video. I hope y'all like the analysis. I really love doing this sort of, free public update for y'all. If you want to know more, if you want to know what kind of positions I'm taking, what trades I'm taking intraday, swing trades, how I'm positioning myself day to day, come join our Advantage community. Again, $97 per month would easily be paid off depending on how much you utilize our community. We do not provide financial advice, but if you join, you'll see exactly how much information you get. And it is a tremendous amount of information that you could use on a day-to-day basis. Also, I just want to point out that our community has been here since the 2017 and 18 days, meaning we went through the bear market. We also went through the 2017, market top, but we never stopped working through the bear market of 2018 and 19, and even the first half of 20. I was always here making videos like I am right now and doing our best to always keep our members up to date. Okay, I do 2 videos a day for my members every single day, except Saturdays and Sundays. But every single day, I let my members know exactly what I'm seeing in the market, tons of other fundamentals related alpha, what altcoins I'm looking at, what research I'm doing, and we provide a lot of that research for our Advantage members. Okay, so hit the thumbs up at the very least, leave us a comment of your thoughts, and come join our Advantage membership, $97 per month. Okay, take care everybody, good luck, and we will talk soon. Cheers.